could get some land and get a conex on it for about $10,000 or less. Um, the trick is do I want a modified conex? Connexes are scary because they can get locked from the outside. So I could keep the locks on one of the doors and modify the other door. Or, this is actually probably the best way, is I open one of the doors and I use either magnets or a modified tent screen or something to have a soft door. And then when I want to leave it, I can lock it up hard. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because you don't want to be inside if it gets locked up. Also, modifying it with windows can be expensive, so what I could do instead is get an arc grinder, angle grinder, and put slits, and every single rivet do a slit, and then put a screen over it, so I have natural airflow. Yeah. Magnets are cool. One of the reasons I want to use a Connex is beyond the fact it's ridiculously cheap. At most, I'll spend $3,000-4,000 for it. So you get land for $2,000, which they sell. You get a Connex for $3,000. That's a living arrangement for $5,000, and not, you know, you can get a shovel and dig a trench for your poop. If it sits there for over a year, it'll be inert. Um, but yeah, I was really thinking, do I have modified windows and a modified door? How do I modify the door? What I do is I lock it open. I put like a chain around the door that I plan on uh, leaving open so nobody can lock me in when I'm not looking. It's just a weird fear getting locked inside a Connex. You're not going to get out unless they let you out. Um, and then, uh, but if you like bind up the outside with a chain and a few locks, it won't be able to close. And then you can have like a tent on the inside. But magnet holders are very fine, especially the big fishing magnets. Yeah, get a bunch of fishing magnets and use it to hold down all your stuff. It's not a bad idea. Living in a Connex would be pretty cool. It's the cheapest house you can have. The insulation could be pretty cheap. You get the insulation, get a camping AC. It'll probably still be warm in the summer, but it won't be like ridiculous. So, yeah. And then every month, get a little extra for it. Yeah, a shovel and some sandbags can do a lot. Kind of my plan is to get a 40-foot Connex, modify the front doors so one of them stays closed and the other one is like, I don't know. I think chaining it open and using like a tent screen, and then when I leave, fully bind it closed. It'd probably be the best. And then instead of windows, do like turret slits, vertical slits, and then glue a screen over it. So, instead of 2 windows, you have 40 windows. But that would probably be the cheapest modification for like a Connex to turn it into a workable house. You don't want to get locked inside, so you need to have a loud binding system to keep it open. Um, but yeah, kind of a cool idea. How to do it. You could even get a chain on 2 ends of a fishing magnet to hold it closed. 2 fishing magnets would be able to hold a Connex nearly closed for sure. And if it's chained open so it wouldn't. And if you have an arc grinder inside, you could make a door if it came to it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. How to build the cheapest off-grid house. I mean, the thing that inspired me is I was on Facebook and I saw some good land earlier. It was like 1.2 acres for $2,000. Can you imagine you're a landowner for 2,000 bucks? Get a Connex delivered, and it's what Tommy Two Coats does. Tommy Two Coats is famous on TikTok. Yeah, everybody knows him. And he's like a Joker impersonator. He lives in a Connex. So yeah, Because like I was looking at all the houses I wanted were like $300,000. It's just unacceptable. But I could live out and like do whatever I wanted with the space. No landlord, no HOA, and yeah, develop it myself. You'd have to get Starlink or whatever, but it would be way cheaper. It'd never pay rent again, right? I've already paid living here way more in rent than all that system would cost. So that's my plan. Yeah, as soon as I get a nice, good work van that's like reliable and I have a little saved uh, for the repairs, I'm going to start saving to get some land and put a conex on it, and then start building a little home. It is true you can get an art grinder to cut through a conex for $22. You can cut a conex. I don't want to do welding. I think like foam and epoxy glue are enough. I don't think anything will ever bother me that I need an actual permanent weld for. Um, yeah, pretty exciting to do a custom build like that. Solar and lighting, yeah, it's awesome. It's extremely exciting. I would have a life that was more romantic if I had things like supportive family or a complete and working fucking penis. But given that I don't really feel like it. I think living a meritable life on like a tiny home outcropping is probably the best I can do or pull off beyond being an activist. So yeah, I would definitely love to live out there. It'd be fun. Do my show from some Connex. And then in the winter, you can just deal with the cold. Just stack up blankets. Yeah, it's great. The summer, maybe the summer I can totally lock it up and then disappear for the whole summer. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at some automatic air conditioning systems. Like, what do you really need for solar? What do you really need to keep the thing cool? A metal box in the summer, probably a lot more than usual. Covering the outside with foam seems like a cool idea. They can sell 20 feet of aluminum reflective coating. So you do like foam and then you lay reflective coating on top of it and do that along the sides and the top for like 20 degrees cooler. And then you do an air conditioner on the inside tied to your solar panels for like another 20 degrees cooler. And then you go from like 140 degrees to 100. Yeah, it's hot in the sun when it's sunny. Arizona has some, yeah, how would the rain work with those screens? I really don't know. Um, you definitely couldn't break into the place with, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Use the art grinder. Instead of making a full window, just make turret slits. You make turret slits on either side. And since I'm out there by myself, there won't be any light. And then you can glue like a screen over it so it has airflow. And then that's way, 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 way easier. Maybe you could get like a little cool like cup over it or something. Yeah. It's definitely exciting. The idea of having like a growing property and then going into town to look for supplies to make it bigger is kind of nice. It's a better project than everything else I was working on. Yeah, and in Arizona, where I'm planning on doing this, uh, $250,000 of your property is protected from lawsuits. So you can own a house and all that, and they can't touch it. So if it costs you 2,000 to buy the land, and then it costs you freaking, you have a $3,000 container on there, yeah, nobody can take it. It's yours. So it's just my plan. I'm pretty excited. It sounds fun. To have a big open magnetic space. The thing I like about it is it's a magnetic space, um, which is definitely awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of cables and magnetic hoops and all that stuff, and so I could have like the whole inside could be hanging with tools. Yeah, Living in my car, I was kind of planning on doing it again. No, 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 way better. Get some cheap land out in the boonies and get a freaking conex delivered to it. That is way better. Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, I saw this dude on Facebook. He's like $50 for a ton of gravel. And I was like, what the fuck is a ton of gravel for? It's actually the ideal conex space. Yeah, you want a space for your conex? Get a ton of gravel distributed there and then basically by hand shovel it out to be, 40 feet by 10 and get your driver out there to back it up and drop it off. It's probably the best idea. Yeah, you want to insulate it with foam and some panels. Power, you can just go with less. You don't need a fridge. You can replace major appliances with the camping version, and then you need way fewer panels to keep them running. Um, Maybe a propane generator or something. Those hand generators do a lot. I've got a little tiny hand generator that cooks power. It wouldn't be bad to have like a two-handed thing like this to go do it like 40 minutes or whatever every couple days. But yeah, that's kind of my plan is to get like a boonies outpost, someplace with no regs. I don't want anybody to tell me what I can do out there or not. And you're not likely to find litter or trash because you're just too far from anything that anyone will ever go there. So your biggest problem will be like wildlife, which won't be a problem. I was gonna put a door on it, like keep the front doors permanently locked and then put a door on the side. But as I was making this video, I was like, no, 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 no. Just close one of the doors and then bind the other door to be permanently open somehow so nobody can lock you in. And then use like a magnet pulley system inside to keep it shut while you're there. Um, yeah, I feel pretty safe. My dimensions as a man keeps me usually protected. Most people won't ever mess with me. And also, most criminals and thugs, people snooping for something to hurt or steal, probably won't see you way, way, way out there. They just don't bother going. It would cost too much gas, and why would he hope to find? You know what I mean? So, yeah, pretty exciting. I didn't have the plan to live on land in a conex until recently, but it's coming up as something I want to do. Yeah, a 40-foot container is what I want to do. I guess that'll be the first one. If I do it for a few years successfully, I might build up and get a second 40-foot container. By then, maybe I can know how welding works. Use the art grinder to cut pieces of the container off and shape them into a doorway. Now I have two containers. But yeah, definitely with food. I'm not planning on growing any because it requires a lot of water. But I am planning on like having my ferrying vehicle filling it up with, several gallons in the bag. Not several gallons, but like 20, 30, 40 gallons of water, not showering. That's just drinking water. And then lots and lots and lots of non perishable food, chips, cans, and then maybe I can have my propane smelter out there and make ingots. That would be cool. Oh, that would be awesome for my little rain cuts or my little. I love my idea of a ventilation instead of opening closing windows with bars or not. Just make a bunch of vertical slits and then uh, put some what do you call on it, and then you have natural airflow and nothing can get in. It's too small to get in. And if I have a lot of magnets, I don't even have to glue that. I can just use magnets to hold the film up, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, I think that is my plan. No house. I was looking at getting a house and it's expensive. It is. Like, I know people who have like these luxurious lives. I never really wanted it. I did want to do that, but I felt bad on how the society worked. I didn't feel like that was for me. the God money and stuff like that, manifesting. Do I really believe in myself enough to do that? No, not really. Maybe I wanted it, but no. So, yeah, I'll do a conex. It's kind of fun. I lived in a 20-foot conex. Maybe it was a 10-footer even, with two people, and it was tight and kind of sucked. But a 40-foot with some good AC and some nice solar. Yeah, my plan for the top is like foam, a couple stripes of like aluminum reflector stuff, or maybe just like pure solar panels. I don't really have the power to like put holes in the conex and bolt it down. I hope it is like you can just put the solar panels on top and weight them a little. They won't fly off. Maybe a rope or two would be good. Who knows? Nothing's stealable. Nobody who drives by can see it. That'd be nice. Yeah, have some property where nobody can really see you're there. That'd be cool. Yeah. And then nobody would bother me. No landlords, no HOA. I hate that. The HOA. I've never known an organization I just hate more than that. A lot of these places, like property taxes a year, are like $44. That's nice. And I only need an acre. I don't need like 5, 10 acres. 1 acre would be pretty good. Yeah.